the information about this. And so, it's so exciting to be able to share this with everybody. So, the company, LifeVantage, is a very unique company. It started out, I know you have a lot of guests on. We're talking to you guys about something that's a total breakthrough. You're hearing about it from a publicly traded company, from me sitting in my car, and you're saying to yourself, why am I not hearing about this from doctors? Is everyone seen the video, Charlotte, that we're talking to? Okay, great. So basically, I don't know if you guys realize, I'm just going to use an example. Like, people are starting to take probiotics now in the United States. That's becoming a very popular product for people to be using. And doctors are now recommending probiotics. But do you know that probiotics have been around since the 60s? And my mom used to give us probiotics when I was a kid. Now, that was in the 60s, okay? So we're at 2017 now, and it really literally hasn't been within the last 2 years that probiotics have kind of become mainstream. I don't know how it is in Australia, but that's literally like 55 years of time that's gone by until probiotics have become mainstream. My mother was way, way ahead of the curve. So just because you haven't heard about this from your doctor doesn't mean that this isn't real. I want people to understand that this type of information is not being circulated through doctors' offices very much right now. There's a lot of skepticism about this kind of stuff, and doctors don't have time to do the research on this. They don't even have time to do their jobs properly in the United States. I don't know what it's like in Australia. So when you hear about something like this and you're hearing it from someone who's not a physician or a practitioner, you have to do your own research now. And that's our job, is to give you guys the information. But the research on this has been done. I mean, this literally is the most researched nutraceutical in the world right now. And LifeVantage started pioneering this in 2004. And at that time, they really were so ahead of the curve. And even today we are. But you think about that, was 13 years ago. And so putting a product like Protandim into the pharmaceutical chains and putting it into the vitamin stores was not a very good strategy on a product. It would have been like putting probiotics in a pharmacy 50 years ago and expecting someone to buy them. They wouldn't have even have known what they were. So we have to be realistic about this and realize that we are still at early adopter stage. How can I be part of the next trillion-dollar industry in the world, which is the health and wellness sector, where it's the fastest growing, and it's also where more money is going to be made in the economy by entrepreneurs. So when you think about a business opportunity, you take Nerve2 activation, which is something that probably maybe within 10 years will be mainstream. I really think it'll probably take that long. We have such an opportunity to be an entrepreneur at the beginning of this. And so I really think it's important to talk about that with everybody that we're talking to, because not everybody's going to resonate with taking that little yellow pill, but they're going to resonate with paying their mortgage, putting their kids in college, and understanding that there's a real business opportunity if we can get in this in the beginning, which is really where we all are right now. Carrie Dickey and Stu Brody just celebrated their 7th anniversary with LifeVantage, and I literally feel today like we're more at the beginning than we were when I started 4 years ago, because I still can't believe how nobody knows about this yet. I have been doing this for 4.5 years, and I still have not met anyone that's heard of this yet. You know how many people I've met in 4.5 years? Between all the people that I've enrolled in the company as customers and distributors, and then everyone else I've supported, I have 16,000 people in my organization between customers and distributors. And so I've talked to a lot of people, and nobody so far has heard anything about this. So I know we're still at the absolute beginning of this. It's until we start hearing, oh yeah, I saw that news report already. Oh yeah, I started taking Protandim 3 years ago. That's never happened to me yet. So I am more excited about this today than I was when I started, because I really understand what we have here. I understand how big, because now I see my check every month on the 15th when it comes in. And I also can see what's happening in the area of science around NRF2 activation, and we're watching it unfold. When I got involved in the company, we had 12 studies, and we were at doing about just over $100 million in sales. That was 4.5 years ago. Now we're doing over 200 million, and we have 26 studies. So when the company said, you're not going to believe what comes out in the future, like, we're working on stuff that's going to blow your mind, I kept saying, I don't know how's that going to be possible to blow my mind more, but has continued to come out with more research, including the life extension on mice. You can't make that up. We're the only supplement in the world proven to extend life in a male mouse by 7%, which was statistically significant, and 3% in female mice. Now, there was not as much significance in the statistics on that, but the bottom line is it extended life in a mouse. And no other supplement's been able to show that. So I don't know that we even talk about that enough. And I think, a lot of people don't really care about living longer. They just want to be healthier. But when you looked at the reason that the mice live longer, it was because they had what's called health span, which was they were healthier. That's why they lived longer. So while we're alive, if we can be healthier and have lower oxidative stress, which is going to help our DNA to not mutate, we can't make any medical claims whatsoever other than we reduce oxidative stress. But when you see that in a mouse, and there's other research in mice as well that has been absolutely groundbreaking. I mean, I have pictures from Johns Hopkins University of mice that have been using Protandim. And just to see the pictures of the mice, Charlotte, I should send to you to show to people, absolutely amazing. The mice that take the Protandim versus the ones that don't, their hair is beautiful and thick, and they're not fat. And they look like baby mice. They look like these beautiful, like, teenage mice, and the other mice look terrible. And it's just crazy. So, we can't see necessarily on the outside all the time what it looks like on the inside, right? We can't see that, but we can see our skin. And I love talking about True Science because I think it's very undersold. I don't know if you guys realize that NRF2 activation for the skin, I believe, will be the next big thing in skincare. There is one other company that has products I believe in Europe that they're developing for Estee Lauder, and it's NRF2 activation for the skin. It will be the next big thing. And 91% of the people that used True Science in our clinical study that had 86 women, it was over 56, I believe it was a 8-week, 56-day study. 91% of the people said they were going to take it again. They were going to buy it again. Science. You can build a huge business. Do you know that 70% of the sales in LifeVantage are just on True Science, or just on Protandim? I just got this statistic from Darren Jensen. I met with him last week in the office, at his office. And he told me 70% is Protandim, about 20% is NRF1 now, which you guys don't have yet, about 19%. And the rest of it, 11%, is all our other stuff. So you guys have everything that you need to build your businesses, okay? We need to be selling more of the other products, but I'm telling you, with the skincare, holy smokes, we really have an opportunity. So what I've been able to achieve working with all the leadership in the company, which is so extraordinary, this community of people that we have, it's just exceeded all my expectations beyond, my wildest dreams, as far as having a business that I could really mentally get my arms around, that actually is very stimulating intellectually. And I don't know if everybody cares about that, but to me, that was important to me, that I could be involved in something that was really going to be intellectually stimulating, for the second half of my life. And, some people crave that and other people don't. But, this is incredible, because every day there's something new that we can learn. We also have an opportunity to, make a significant amount of money and change people's lives from a financial perspective. So, that's intellectually stimulating too, to look at your bank account and see the money coming.